Welcome back, friends. I'm back on the Cuyahoga on my little island in the middle of the river. It rained, so I might find some marbles today. The other thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this dump up. I'm gonna get rid of some of the larger glass pieces, throw them in this recycle bin here and get them out the river. So let's see what we can find. All right, I remember this one. Coca-Cola with a broken neck. All this stuff looks familiar. Any large pieces? Here's something right here. All right, here's something right here. We're gonna clean it up. Plus it ought to keep me warm, considering today it's 49-degree air temperature and 49-degree water temperature. It's the first time this year the water was the same temperature as the air, but it should work with the wetsuit. Well, we're making some progress on the glass here, but there you go. How's that for good karma? A little blue marble for my pouch. There's another really nice one. What is that? It's like black and cobalt blue with a swizzle. I'll take that one. Here's a gigantic clear marble, but I guess it's going to be all chipped up. Let's have a look. Wow, maybe not. Yeah, it's got a little bit of dings in it. That's pretty big though. That would probably be considered a shooter. I didn't think in a million years this would be whole. I wish I would have had my camera on when I plucked it out. It looks whole. Look at this thing. It does have a crack in it. Very interesting though. Here's a free Sanyo television if you're interested in it. For the water temperature being in the 40s, I find that a 5mm wetsuit works well for me. Get in the water and just start moving things around on the bottom, scraping with your toe or just moving rocks, and you'll be sure to find something. Here we have a cork-top medicine bottle. I found it to have a mold seam that goes all the way to the top, so it was likely produced somewhere between 1900 and 1920. This next bottle is one that I've been looking for quite some time. In my last couple videos I found a couple of these, but they had large cracks in them. This one only has light case wear and is otherwise complete. So this is my best example of this. And this is a new grape with a patent of March 9th, 1920. So it could be over 102 years old. Look closely where I'm raking and you'll see a white and blue marble just roll on out. Going slow and moving debris is key to finding things. You gotta uncover things. A lot of the things that I find are under a few inches, maybe even a foot. So you gotta put in some work. Most of the jars and bottles I find are modern slicks. So this one right here, it's destined for the recycle bin. It's fitting that just before Christmas I find a Christmas Coke. That is a Coke bottle with a patent of December 25th, 1923. And here's another corktop medicine slick. It's always a good idea to fan out the bedrock of sediment and debris. So this is what silver looks like. Look for the roundness, and this is a small silver coin. I found this to be a 1939 Mercury dime, and just wait till you see how it shines up on the cleanup. I keep finding these things that look like musket balls, but they're non-metallic. Are they clay marbles? They're a little crude, I don't know. Here's a screw top whiskey, not terribly old. Always wear gloves when treasure hunting in the river. Crayfish in the Cuyahoga River could get pretty large. I'm going to do a size comparison here against my hand. I would say if his claws were stretched out from the tip of the claw to the tip of the tail, he's somewhere around 6 inches. They could make a home out of almost anything. So most of the water that I search in is only a few feet deep. So why the wetsuit, the snorkel, the mask, all the gear and everything? Well, if you're just walking in the shallow water and you're looking down, there's all kinds of reflections and stuff, and you really can't see anything. So it's a necessity to actually get in the water and look around with goggles. That gives you the clarity to see the fine details and the fine silhouettes and shapes of perhaps bottles covered up with algae and debris. With that said, always be aware that there's waterborne illnesses and bacteria, E. coli, things like that are in freshwater rivers. So if you're going to do this, you got to be careful and make sure you don't have any open sores, cuts, or abrasions, or ingest any of the water. This is going to be a local Norca soda. Norca is Akron spelled backwards. Too bad the ACL's all rubbed off. Well, I'm finished. This will make the area a little bit safer. Of course, you can't get it all. Okay, here it goes. All right, quick cleanup time. We'll start with the meds. These corktop medicines, the mold seam runs all the way up to the top. So like I said earlier, that puts them in the ballpark right around 1900 to 1920. And this one here would be a more common example. A very tall and recessed panels, and you would have your paper label on there for any number of medications. Then we have the Christmas Coke, and I said I would show the date on here, and you could see December 25th, 1923. So that is indeed a Christmas Coke. A lot of case wear, and I have found a lot better ones than this, but going into Christmas, I'll take a Christmas Coke. Then I've been looking for this bottle forever, ever since my son found one in the river a few years back, and it was in very good condition. All the ones since then have had big cracks in them, like in my last couple videos. But anyhow, I love the new grapes. They always have the date March 9th, 1920. And other things that they have embossed on here, imitation grape. And then not grape juice. So they're embossed all over the place. And I absolutely love that bottle just because of its design. It has these like two separate sections and nice aqua color. This one is from Bradenton, Florida. So it came up all the way from Florida to Ohio. And I'm happy to have that in my collection. I could take the other ones I have with cracks and imperfections and recycle them finally. They were starting to stack. So then we got the marbles. We have the big shooter here, which has a lot of, like, it's all foggy from tumbling in the river. That one's pretty good. And this one's a nice cobalt blue. Black and white marble, that's very interesting. Then we have my favorite of the trip. This one here, you can see all the way through it. It's very clear, and you can see there's like little wisps in there with the blue on one side and the white on the other. Not sure about it, probably between the 1930s and 1950s, but it's a nice clean example, and it's going to want to roll away. We'll put it there. A little plate. Some of you probably know the style and when this was from. In the off chance that you do, let me know. I would like to know how old that is. There's no markings on it. Then we always find these things, and I'm thinking that these are clay marbles that the color has worn off, and they're just rough from being in the river. I really don't know. I know they looked like musket balls initially, but they're very light, and I think that they might be made out of clay. So if they are, I got a bunch of these. If you guys know what these are, let me know so I could let everyone else know. And then finally, we have the mercury dime. This is, if we could focus in on that, a 1939. It shined up pretty good. And I don't normally clean aggressively a coin if it has a key date or it's a special coin or a really old coin. But a 1939 mercury dime, it's common. I mean, people collect them just for, silver stackers and everything. This coin's made out of 90% silver, and the U.S. minted silver coins up until the end, through, I should say, 1964. And there you have it. A nice example of a mercury dime from 1939. No mint mark. So the last thing I want to do is talk about something I found on my last video that a viewer gave me some insight on to what it is and how old it is. So let's do that. So this is one of those amazing discoveries that happen every so often. And if you want to see the recovery of this, check out the video pictured here. And one of my viewers, Craft Girl, give her a shout out because she told me this was Roseville Pottery Company. And she suggested that this particular one was from 1901. So I researched it, and that indeed looks to be the case. And Roseville Pottery Company was founded in 1890 in Roseville, Ohio. In the beginning, they made like basic items like umbrella stands, stoneware, flower pots. But then in 1900, they started to manufacture a higher quality artistic pottery line. And this being made in 1901 falls under that, higher grade, higher quality artistic pottery. This flower pot is said to have been made in 1901, as stated. That makes it about 121 years old. So how, and this has detail all the way around, no markings on the bottom. That's why I'm grateful she was able to give me a heads up on this. And looking at these things online, there were a few examples for sale, and it ranged from $215 to $275. Now, those were, ones that were in pristine condition, that still had all the paint. And yes, they were green, and you could still see some green paint. So from being in the river, not a chip on it, but the green paint is completely gone. So to me, it's worth more than what people were selling them for, because I personally found this as an artifact in the river. And again, being 121 years old, I don't know how things like this survive. But this is why I do what I do. And you will have these moments. You just got to get out there and do it. So until next time, happy hunting, everybody.